Hey Daniel, this is James. Thanks so much for doing some great work. I'm glad that you've gotten back to me quickly. I apologize for not getting back to you as fast as I would have liked to. Here I am, and it is important that this project gets done in a timely fashion, and I understand that you have other people to work with. So I do appreciate your follow through on this project. So, a couple of things. Who I advertise to and why. So basically, I am a handyman, and primarily I'm at my target market is senior citizens and women, because for the most part, they're the types of clientele who uh, need my services. They're not able to fix things, or they feel intimidated to fix things themselves, or they're not able to fix things themselves. Of course, I get men as well. However, I'm trying to come off with a non-intimidating approach. So anything that looks kind of like combative or like a weapon or sharp or colored towards aggressive things, I have to be careful of. So some of your designs have been really awesome. I think they make really badass tattoos. However, I'd also like to point out that what's important here is like more of a heroic approach is what I'm trying to create. So the shape and why. So I initially wanted to have a Superman shape, right? Because Superman denotes hero. He demands a good guy. He's standing for other people's needs who are weaker than them or not capable. He is trustworthy. So this is the kind of symbolism that I like out of the Superman icon. Now I made something in the past. Obviously, it's all kind of copyright issues with this, so I totally decided to come up with something else. So I said, okay, I can't do an S. Let me do an H. H is the handyman. It represents me, the handyman, placard savior, right? So I also could not do the area. So this is also iconic and is copyrighted. So I needed to come up with a different type of shape, and that's how I came up with a placard. So a placard is something that indicates like a family crest that has longevity, generation to generation, something of stability, something that's noble. So the placard shape was part of it, as well as the H, which was like heroic, right? So that's how I came to be that way. Um, this shape here is a little bit more like an arrowhead. As cool as it is, I'm a little concerned about it being a little intimidating. I'm thinking of creating more of a shape like a placard that's a little softer, similar to the original. The cross and the H. Why do I have a cross and the H the way I do? Well, the check is getting something done. I got my honey to-do list, checklist, and okay, I'm one thing off the list. Nike is just do it. Now, the psychology behind it is, you've got an issue, it's a plumbing issue, and oh no, we're going in a bad direction. Now I'm going to make a phone call to my handyman, he's going to take a look at it, and all of a sudden he's going to recommend a service, and I agree, and boom, we're here. So it changed direction from going in this direction, now it's in that direction. And it did a smooth transition. I love this orbital look. At this point, I want it to be straight because we're going to go in one single solitary direction, showing consistency and persistency until it's complete. So that's this part of it. If it could be straight across, going up, that's great. Now I'd like this to be lower and that to be higher because we're starting low and ending on a high note. That's the other psychological background behind it. Again, this shape here is a little sharp. If we could make it a little fatter, I think that would be a little less intimidating than that sharp point. I like the crispness of it, but I'm always concerned about anything that may look too aggressive. So that's the crossing edge. Now the glow. There's like a heavenly glow behind here, or angelic, or special kind of glow that could happen here. That would be cool. It would illuminate the handyman. Explain the shadow. So the shadow is a little bit profound. It's raising the H off. Okay? And I like the fact that you added shadow to each of these symbols. But if you can keep it where if the light's coming directly up and traveling down, then the shadow could be, equal on all these things. But I'd like the shadow to show up more underneath this placard. And the reason is that, we're basically explaining, hey, we're the handyman. We are above all these services. We've got you. So if this could pop out more than these, that's great. So for instance, this is a thin shadow here, and that's a thick shadow. That would be kind of like what I'm looking for, like representative in this picture. The icons. I do like the fact that the water shadow is at the bottom, or the glistening reflection, um, which may make sense because if the light's coming down this way, that would be part of one area of reflection. Otherwise, it would, I don't know how it would look up here, if that would be helpful or more confusing. I'm not sure. The fire. This fire is very symmetrical. I've seen it used in cartoons to kind of represent possibly evil characters. Um, so I like the organic flow of this. This fire here, it's representing like warmth on a cold winter day. So if we could just use this fire symbol, that would be really great. I like what you've done here with this lock. The handle looks great. The larger keyhole is great. If we could just show a little bit more definition around the shape, I think it'd be great. It still looks like an oval from a distance. It looks like this is just like a rectangle and two small semicircles, kind of showing a little bit more of a lock kind of look. That would be great. I love what you did with the, this is perfect, that's fantastic, this is really wonderful, love it, really appreciate that. The metallic, why the metallic? Yeah, I know you said you wanted to kind of finish a couple of these things before we start adding some shadows and metallic kind of gradients to it. Metal is, first of all, sterling, so people associate sterling with service, and sterling is like flawless, perfect, smooth, shiny, that kind of stuff. So these two things is to make like a clean appearance, a crisp appearance, smooth, polished. That's the kind of symbolism behind the wording and the message is you're going to hire this guy, he's got your services, he's the hero saving the day, he's polished, he's clean, he's going to give you a finished product that's going to be, may start looking tough, but it's going to be complete until it's done. These are all the things that are symbols that are going on in this whole representation here. So when the time comes, if we could have like a lighter and a metallic looking turn here, as well as the border inside of here, and even on the lettering, that would be great, without compromising the viewability of these letters. Because I'm working with seniors, and sometimes they have a hard time seeing complex things that are a little bit too fancy. If there could be some sort of kind of metallic appearance with it, still remaining very clear letters, that would be great. Same thing with the metal here on the red. This is like a blood red, and if we could get it to be like a shiny red metallic looking, that would be great. I also like the fact that there's a raised appearance happening here on this border. So if we had a raised appearance here, kind of denoting a strong border, a very strong border here, holding in this H, this handyman. So these are all the different symbolisms that I'm trying to create in this, and I hope that I'm making myself clear with all these different things. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Thank you for your help on this project, and I look forward to hearing from you.